I got something inside the truck that I'm gonna show you guys. I think some of you guys are gonna like it. It's pretty cool. What's in these boxes? Oh man, did you guys see that? Shocker Hitch. Let's see what's in this box. Should we get it out? Oh, it's packaged pretty good. I care about what's in the box. Here we go. It's heavy. Oh my God. This is a new hitch that we're gonna put in the back of our dually. This is Shocker Hitch. It's 20,000 pounds with a 3-inch shank. I call it a shank, but 3-inch receiver, if you will. So we got a new truck, and we loved our old Shocker Hitch so much that we knew that we wanted to get a new hitch that was a 3-inch shank. So I reached out to the people of Shocker Hitch, and they were kind enough to hook us up with this brand new hitch that you see here. So this is going to be the new hitch that's going to go in the back of our new truck. And thank you, Shocker Hitch, for hooking us up with this beautiful, amazing product that you guys have created. Not only is it a great product, but the customer service is next to none. What else is in this box? The second box. Ooh, this looks so good. Look how nice. Look how nice this is. So this is the 2 5/16 ball, because that's what size our coupler is for our Airstream. And then this has the attachments for the small little balls for the sway brake. This one has got the raised height where it goes up a little bit higher, and I'll show you guys our old one. So this is the new hitch to replace our old hitch. We have one of the original Shocker hitches on this truck that's got probably close to 40,000 miles on it. So I'm gonna show you guys that. So here is our original Shocker hitch that we have had for about 5 years now. This thing works so good. If you're thinking about buying one of these hitches, you should just order one up. Customer service is great. The build quality is amazing. We've not had any trouble with this hitch whatsoever. This hitch here was in our old dually, and our old dually got caught in a flash flood. So this thing was underwater, submerged underwater, and a huge boulder come and actually hit it. That's just how tough these things are. So not only are they built really well, but there's a night and day difference on the ride on the inside of the truck and then what you're pulling. So Airstreams are notorious for having front end separation because of the way that they're designed. That I believe that when you pull them on an Shocker hitch, the way that the hitch is designed, this hitch will actually like pivot on this large bolt right here. So the actual hitch will kind of just pivot this way. I know that there's other hitches that have an actual airbag, where that one, it just seems like it sticks out really far. Looks like it's super heavy. And that one, instead of pivoting like this one, which I think is a better design, that one just kind of goes up and down. So I think the pivot part actually makes this work a little bit better. So we're gonna take this one out, and I'm gonna put these side by side so you can see the difference. But this has been a really good hitch. Such a good hitch that we got another hitch because this one's so awesome. All right, we are gonna take this hitch out and get ready for the new hitch. Better eat your Wheaties. She's a little ahead of me. Oh. Whew. All right. So what's really nice about this hitch is when you have it in, they have all sorts of different types of attachments. So many that you could pull farm equipment or whatever. So our Airstream is a 2 5/16 ball, and our boat is a 2-inch ball. Well, there's no need to switch, have to pull receivers out or this or that. It's just simply you pull these pins out, and if we're going to tow the Airstream, we could run the 2 5/16, or if we're pulling the boat, we could run the 2-inch. And you can adjust the height. So like with the boat, we would lower it down, or with the Airstream, we run it all the way at the top on the Airstream. Well, since we put a lift kit on the Airstream, the tongue of the trailer would point down a little bit because this is as high as it would go. But Shocker has come up with new attachments, if you will, and they've got the raised version. So now this gets that ball up that much further higher now. So if you have a trailer that you need to bring the tongue up, they have raised ones, and then they have ones that drop. This is obviously just pretty much level. So if you have a really high jacked up pickup, you can get you a drop, or if your truck sits lower and you need it raised, see how much higher it gets that ball? So we run twin sway brakes on our Airstream when it gets really windy. So you have the attachments here, really impressive welds, massive 3/8 plate. Okay, so here is a side-by-side comparison. This is a 12,000 pound rated hitch. So you can pull up to 12,000 pounds with this one here. This is the standard 2-inch solid receiver. And then here is our new hitch that the folks at Shocker Hitch were so generous to help us out with. And this is rated for 20,000 pounds. You can see it's got a larger airbag. And it's basically the same configuration. It's just the main reason for this is with the Super Duties or the larger trucks, the newer trucks, you got to run sleeves because the hitch is so big. So the F350 Power Stroke has got a 3-inch receiver hitch, and so you have to run these sleeves, and there's just so much play in these things that I just didn't like it. I think it doesn't affect the hitch because we've obviously been running this for a while, and it doesn't affect it any. They're basically almost identical in shape and form and function. You've got your air straighter here. I do notice that this had a little protector plate where this one doesn't, so clearly nobody's broken that off where they thought that they could go away with that, which is fine. So this is where you're obviously going to put your air in the bag, and you have to play around with the air a little bit to find the right sweet spot in between these bump cushions here. So they got what they call a soft zone, where you want it basically in between the two. You have a softer, I don't know if they're polyurethane or they're neoprene, but the front one is a softer bump cushion, and then this is a harder one. So it's just like that on this one as well. This looks like it's a softer one, and this is harder. So you want to get in between the soft zones. So you have to play around with your air pressure. One trailer might be 20 pounds. Another trailer might be 40 pounds, just depends. So once you know your trailer, it's just simply maybe writing it on a business card of what that trailer is and have it in your truck, so that way you know this trailer I need 35 pounds. One thing that we use, it's pretty simple, it's just a little electric compressor. It makes it really easy because it don't take but less than 10 seconds to put air in that thing, and you can dial it up and down, and 1 or 2 pounds makes a huge difference. The best advice I can give you when setting the air pressure on these, if you're pulling a trailer that has electric trailer brakes, you want to go to a flat parking lot and you want to basically put the truck in neutral and do not hit the brakes. And the reason I say that is you want to try to coast to a stop, because if you hit the brakes, the electric trailer brakes are going to grab, and when it grabs, when them trailer brakes grab, it's going to pull this back. So that's one thing that I learned, is that when you hit the brakes to come to a stop, you're actually pulling, this was in the truck, you're actually pulling this back, if you can see that, if that makes sense. So I would notice that when I come to a stop, there was tension on this hitch because of the electric trailer brakes. So find a flat parking lot, put it in neutral, just kind of come to a coast, and then put it in park, come out and look where your plate is, and we'll go through that, and I'll show you guys the whole process. That's part of this video that we're doing, is to show you that it's really easy. It's not that hard to get a trailer set up, and then we'll show you what we're talking about as far as adjusting, when you adjust the air pressure, so we can get it set in between those soft zones. So that's the side and side comparison of the two. We'll flip them upside down, and the air hose is a lot larger. This is 1/4 inch that you would find on like semi trucks and stuff, and it's a hard line. And then this looks like they've upgraded to a rubber air line here, but basically same principles. They have multiple colors now. They've got red, they've got black. We thought black would go good with our truck because the truck's all black. I think they got green. All right, I think we've talked enough of the side-by-side comparison. So let's get this new hitch in the back of this truck. I call it a hitch. What do you guys call it a hitch, or do you call like the hitch of the truck? Just depends on where you come from, I suppose. You know, like I've always called this a hitch, and then the truck is a receiver. But some people are like, you're gonna put the receiver in the hitch? So it's like tomato, you know what I mean? I would say that the unit on the truck is called the receiver, and then this is the hitch. But I don't know. That's one for debate. All right, so on our F350, they run a 3-inch. I know some of the Rams are 3/4 or 2 3/4, and this is 3-inch. Our last pickup was your typical standard 2-inch, which was our old air shocker. That has been great. So you can see where you run one sleeve and another sleeve, and it works. But Shocker, being the amazing, innovative company that they are, realized that some of these bigger trucks needed a bigger hitch. I'm gonna call it a hitch. Well, they're saying Shocker Hitch, so I would imagine that this is a hitch then. That it just settles the debate. They settled the debate for us right here with the sticker. So the hitch is going in the receiver. So let's put this in here. And you can see when you go to put it in that the airbag, even though it doesn't have any air in it, sometimes I've found where if you take a pocket screwdriver and if you let's listen. It had some pressure in it. So sometimes you need to let the pressure out so that way you can squeeze the bag enough to get it underneath the receiver here. So I'll see if I can manhandle it down there. Ooh, there it is, see? So if you're having trouble, just take a little more air out. See? More air coming out of that bag to get it to go in there, you know? So this is kind of almost like the hardest part, I think. It's just getting this baby in there. To me, this is a hitch where you just leave it in there. Get yourself a locking pin, leave it in there, and if you're worried about banging your shin, just pull that off and nobody's gonna mess with it. I'm gonna use a wrench to try to push down on this while I let the air out, you'll see. So I'm just gonna I'm kind of hung up on these 2 bolts right here. Just gonna use this big wrench for leverage and then try to hold the Schrader valve in to allow me to decompress this bag. See how I was able to like deflate that bag? So I'm gonna let go of that, and that should, see how it just goes right in? So just a little trick, hold that little Schrader valve in, and then it'll get it right in there. Put the pin in, and that is as simple as that. So forget to put your little chrome cap on there. And what's really sweet about this hitch, if you come over on this side, they got a grease zerk right here, because this is the pivot point. So every time I do an oil change on the truck, hit this grease zerk, and this is your actual pivot point. So this design is so good. We've traveled all over the country with the original here, and we've never had an issue with it. Okay guys, gals, YouTube family. So I'm gonna demonstrate when you go to first hook this up. Right now I don't have any air in the bag. So you're gonna have to change and play with the air pressure, but it's pretty easy. So right now you can see where, because all of the tongue weight, the actual bolt is completely maxed out. So we're gonna add air to this and to kind of give us a starting baseline. And like I said, I just use an electric, battery operated electric air pump, and it works pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna put air into this thing, and it's gonna be pretty noisy, but you'll watch up here. We're gonna put air until it comes off of this back bushing here. Turn this on. Okay, so I stop right there because I don't want it up all the way against this bushing. I want it to be able to pivot. So another thing you can do, see right there I have 24 pounds of air. So for this trailer, this tongue weight, this is where we're gonna be. And this is a good starting base. This should be able to kind of be in between the two soft zones. I might let a little bit of air out. It's all, when you first get this hitch, it is gonna take a little bit to figure out what you need for air pressure for your trailer. So right now I have too much air in it because I'm up against this bump stop, and I don't want that. I want it to basically float in between these two bump cushions. So it's pretty easy. I got a little pocket screwdriver. I never leave home without it. So I'll just let air out just a little bit. And you can see where I'm coming up off that bushing. So right here, now I have basically a 1/8 of an inch to a 1/4 inch, an 1/8 of an inch right there. So that's where I'm gonna start with. So here is an actual very precise race gauge. So we're gonna put this on just to kind of see where we're at as far as air pressure. And this says 14. So we'll see how 14 does, and we'll start driving and kind of see where that leads us. Like I was telling you guys previously and earlier, when you go to check this, you don't want to hit the trailer brakes or the truck brakes. You want to just kind of basically put the truck in neutral and coast to a stop, and then put the truck in park, because if you hit the brake, if you have electric trailer brakes, it's going to pull. That trailer's going to pull, and when it pulls, you're not going to get a proper air pressure adjustment by doing that. So when you come to a complete rolling non-brake stop,
that's where you're going to be relaxed, as I'm going to call it, as the relaxed position. So anyways, let's get this show on the road. Let's see how this thing works. It's going to feel so good. And I'll walk you guys through how to set this air pressure up as we go here, because 14 is kind of our baseline. We might have to bump it up or let more air out. Alright, so we are pulling into a truck stop, and I am not hitting the brake right now. I'm just going to kind of glide in here because I don't want the electric trailer brake to pull that trailer back, so we can show you guys the gap of in between the bump cushions and the soft zone. So we're going to just come right over here. Like I said, the key is just to kind of glide in here. Let's see here. Get it right next to the scale. Okay. So I'm gonna put her in neutral and just kind of come to a coast. Alright, so we have no electric trailer brakes applied. Alright, let's get out and let's check it out, guys. Let's see where we're at. On these two soft zones, I kind of spread it out. Okay. I am almost up against the blue one. I got more of a gap on the black one. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm probably going to add a little bit of air to it to try to push this forward, because when you add air, it's going to expand. It's going to expand that bag. So when we expand that bag, that's going to push this forward, and we're going to try to get a little bit more into the center. This plate you basically want centered in between these two soft zones, into these two bump cushions. So I'm gonna grab my air deal. Like I said, it just takes a little bit of finesse. I think we were at like 14 pounds earlier. Just double check with a fancy gauge. Okay, so no, right now it's showing 17 pounds is where I'm at. So let's see what my little Menards, I love Menards. See what my little Menards gauge says. So this is showing 19 and a half. So whatever you're comfortable with, but I'm gonna just try to add maybe about 2 pounds just to kind of bring this up a little bit. And we wanna make sure that the truck is level, trailer's level, all that good stuff. So let's just put a little bit of air in here. Okay, so that brought it up a little bit more. I'm gonna go just a skosh more here. Right there. Kind of liking that. So we'll take this off. This shows 26. Let's see what my fancy race car gauge says here. This is showing about 24. So it's about 2 pounds off, or 2 pound difference. So I kind of like that, because if I were to take this bump cushion and try to, you know, basically push that forward a little bit more, you basically want the same gap in between the two bump cushions. I believe our old Shocker Hitch, I believe that one was right around 25 pounds of air on this particular Airstream. This tongue weight with lithium batteries in these larger propane tanks, I want to say our tongue weight is like 1,100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, something like that. So we're at 23 pounds. We'll check it again and see how it rides here. Okay, we pulled over once again. This looks so much better. I'm really happy with this right here. It's basically in between the two soft zones. Yeah, so basically it is a learning curve. This hitch is a learning curve with your trailer. It's not gonna be like this every time. If you know that when you're hooking up to your RV, you need whatever, 24 pounds, then rock at 24 pounds. Really easy to change it. If you're gonna hook onto, like if I had to use my dump trailer, that is gonna vary depending on if I'm hauling rock like that over there at that pile. So depending on what you're hauling, you got to play around with your air pressure a little bit, but once you get it dialed in, it's really not that bad to just make a couple adjustments to get that in the soft zone, and so that way that thing can actually, you know, just pivot. I was watching in my mirrors the tailgate, and it's really easy to follow the shades, rock guards on this trailer, but the truck I can see is fixed where the tailgate's at, and I know that the Shocker Hitch is working because I can see the front of our camper is bobbing almost like it's a boat in water. So here's the tailgate of the truck and here's the Airstream. I can see it kind of doing its thing, which especially on a heavy truck like this, you don't get that banging going on like that, because that's what that air shock does, is it cushions the blow. So another great thing for us with this hitch is because it softens that. It's like riding in a Cadillac, the tongue of this thing. Let me get over here and show you guys. Show you. Okay, so Airstreams, if you guys have an Airstream, you should have one of these, no problem. So the front ends on Airstreams, they get what's called front end separation, and it's where these front compartments, these rivets, will pop out because the actual frame and the body will separate right here, and the body is bolted down. So when you get that flex, it pops these rivets out, and that's a huge deal. So by buying one of these Shocker hitches, it is going to save you thousands of dollars repair, possibly on Airstreams that have front end separations. We've pulled this Airstream with our old Shocker hitch probably 35,000 miles over Montana, Wyoming, everywhere, and we don't have a single rivet that's popped. And that right there speaks for itself. So if you're on the fence about buying one, you should do it. Like, just get out your phone. You're already watching on your phone. Order one up. Great customer service, great product. All right, we're gonna pretty much wrap this up with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. I hope that what I showed you, you guys can use if you guys already have one and you're kind of uncertain. I know there's a lot of videos, but be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment, and we're pretty good about messaging people back on it, and I'll try to answer any questions possible. And I just want to thank the people at Shocker Hitch for making such an amazing product that we can use, that we trust, and we enjoy so much. But yeah, you guys stick around. Thanks for following the long life.